I love using CarPlay with my iPhone, but unfortunately, there's a big problem. And I don't think Apple is going to fix it anytime soon. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Apple Insider. It is Andrew here, and Apple has been offering CarPlay in iPhones for years now. And it has slowly gained traction and has often become a must-have thing for iPhone users when shopping for a new car. But unfortunately, we've been in a rut the last several years, and Apple has shown no signs of trying to correct this. See, there are two big things that need to be addressed with CarPlay. The first is that auto manufacturers have shown an unwillingness to adopt new features that Apple has introduced. Apple could be just giving them very little motivation to adopt these new features. There could be not much demand from users like you and me, or it could just be their steadfast approach to supporting their own systems and not wanting to support things like Android Auto or CarPlay, where they have less control over the interface and how users are interacting with the systems. They would prefer that you use their own systems like Uconnect or the Sync system or any of those other infotainment systems out there where they can control how you interact with it and can upsell you different features like nav packages and Sirius XM built into your car, things like that. But so far, car manufacturers have not jumped onto new CarPlay features. Take wireless CarPlay. This was introduced all the way back in 2016, and yet most cars don't offer wireless CarPlay. You still have to plug it in using your lightning cable. And honestly, it's frustrating for a feature to come out 6 years ago, and still most vehicles don't want to support it. We also see that Apple's introduced this new version of CarPlay that's coming in the future, and so far I am not expecting a bunch of car manufacturers to support this. Apple has even gone as far as to introduce this whole new CarPlay vision that it's hyping for the future, hoping to get users excited enough that car manufacturers have to support it. But so far, nearly no one has promised to support this new version of CarPlay that'll live across all the different screens in your car. I mean, even right now, I just bought a brand new car, and while it does have wireless CarPlay, it doesn't take advantage of the instrument cluster where Apple already supports with CarPlay. So if it's not using the existing features, I am not expecting anything to jump to this new version of CarPlay that takes over all of the screens in your car. It just seems like a big ask, and if car manufacturers aren't supporting things that are out there now, wireless CarPlay, instrument cluster, things like that, a whole new Envision CarPlay is going to be an even bigger ask. Aside from adopting these new features at an actual adequate pace, the other big problem with CarPlay is the apps themselves. Apps for CarPlay are super minimalistic, and I'm not even just talking about for safety reasons. They just seem to be bare bones, and developers are doing the minimal effort to support CarPlay if they do at all. Take the Sirius XM app. It's pretty terrible with just some basic list views of stations and a list of your favorites. It's more or less just the companion app for your iPhone that does the bare bones to be able to show on your car's display. But if you look at car manufacturers, they have Sirius XM built in with these fantastic UIs, these cool graphical interfaces, all of this stuff going on, and the CarPlay app is severely lacking. Whether that lacking is coming from Apple's developer resources for CarPlay, which it definitely controls how interfaces can be displayed, or from developers just not putting in the effort, it's a problem that needs to be addressed, both by Apple and developers, to be able to make CarPlay applications far more than they are today. Apple has introduced new app types such as fueling options and car-based ones where you can find get towed and stuff like that, but there's still been almost no applications that have supported this, even though these new features came out back with iOS 16 in the fall. Developers and Apple have been slow to introduce new changes, features, and just better apps for CarPlay. So what do you guys think? Do you like CarPlay? Do you use CarPlay? And what would you like to see with CarPlay? Do you see any way for Apple or auto manufacturers or developers to address these issues? Let me know down below in the comments or on Twitter at Andrew_OSU. By the way, if you want to get some cool AI merch, we have a new merch store. There's a link for it down below in the description. These are so soft, directly through Cotton Bureau. We've got tees, we've got sweatshirts, we've got all sorts of stuff. So be sure to check those guys out. Otherwise, stay tuned. I've got so many more videos coming your way.